back. We be doing it. Bigger the better. Get it more. We be doing it. Bigger the better.
Two-thirds
17 rounds gone, and we are about to go qualifying time. 17 rounds gone, and we have the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We are racing around the 20 beautiful corners of Baku this weekend. 6 kilometers, 51 laps, and the track lap record 1 minute 40.2 set in 2023. The elevation 27 meters, 366 kilometers an hour. We saw in FP3 356 from Yuki Tsunoda. Soft, medium, and hard compound tyres being used this weekend. It's mostly been the soft tyres. The tyres that are also available are the intermediate and the wet tyres as well. The cars are about to head out there. We are about to go qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix to set the grid for the 51 laps of epic racing. Harry Benjamin and Karun Chandok are up in the commentary box. Let's get their thoughts on this qualifying session to come.
No, it's lovely to be here. I love coming to Baku. I think it's going to be an exciting qualifying from what we've seen in practice. Ferrari looked competitive. Max Verstappen, you can never discount. George Russell was on a decent lap, didn't get to close it, so we haven't seen his potential. And of course, McLaren, as per usual, will start as favourite. But they're not going to be as far ahead here as we've seen at places like Zandvoort or, in fact, in Budapest before that. This feels a bit more like Monza, where they're going to have to fight for it.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight all the way up until the checker flag for each session. But that Q1 is going to be busy to begin with, because it's not just the general challenges of a street track that you have to deal with here. You've got the wind, as we mentioned. You've also got things like yellow flags, and you've got traffic as well. So they're going to have to prepare themselves, and they're going to be doing it for a while yet as well, with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix contract extended and remaining on the F1 calendar up to and including 2030. Now, one man though who has been running well in 2 of the free practice sessions, fastest of both of them, was Lando Norris. But I believe there's a bit of work going on down there at McLaren, or there was right up until the beginning of this session. Let's say good afternoon to Ted Gravitz. What more do you know, Ted?
Hello Harry, hello Karun, hello everybody from the pit lane. I tell you, it's busy enough down here. We've got about 6 or 7 or 8 cars from the likes of Racing Bulls, Williams, Alpine, already queued up at the end of the pit lane, wanting to get out early, wanting to get an early slot, maybe wanting to avoid, there you go, you can see the Saubers at the front, as they are going to be, because their garage is closest to the pit exit. A couple of Haas cars as well, because they want to get out ahead of any of the weather. There is rain in the area and the usual high wind, as you can see. But yes, they had the angle grinder out on Lando Norris. I mean, first thing to say about Lando Norris, good recovery today after the nightmare for him that was Friday practice. Banging that McLaren into the wall, breaking the suspension and losing a load of track time. So good recovery so far, but they've been out with an angle grinder onto some metal bits of the floor, and I've seen sparks flying literally in the McLaren garage. I think that's actually just making sure the car will pass all of the legal checks. There are some bits that can be just a little bit proud of where they should be, and they've just been just chamfered down, just angle ground down, just to make sure those metal bits are all right. They weren't doing the angle grinding on the carbon because they wouldn't have seen sparks, and we saw sparks fly in McLaren. But yes, with their job well up against it, against the likes of Ferrari and Max Verstappen, there's no exaggeration, Harry, to say that sparks are going to fly literally in this qualifying session.
And
That's exactly what is going to happen. Thank you, Ted. Hello, Tony. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hello, Tony. Welcome in. We have 10 seconds until qualifying gets underway. And it's, again, heading into this round, it is almost unpredictable as to who is going to take pole position. As to who will, that is the big question. 18 minutes on the clock. Q1 gets underway. The two Kick Saubers head out there. They are the first cars out on circuit. You heard Ted there say that there's a bit of rain in the area, so understandable as to why these drivers want to get out here first. If there's rain in the area, you want to try and set that dry time as soon as possible. Reply to me. What do you mean? I have. Hello, Tony. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Tony. I can see you. I can see you. Oscar Piastri getting what looks to be a new front wing on the front of that car there. With 16 and a half minutes to go. Cars make their way. Reply my comment. I have. Oh, like on a short or something. Tony, wait. This is one of those tricky little bloody... I feel... Okay. Anyways. Tony, I haven't checked my shorts yet. If you have bloody... Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of the comments. If you have bloody commented on a video, I haven't seen them yet. So, hello, Tony. Welcome to the stream. 16 minutes to go as one of the Williams starts their lap. That is Alex Albon starting his lap here and making his run on the exit of turn 1. Hello, Elizabeth. Welcome to the stream. How are we? Welcome to the stream. As Alex Albon now starts his lap and makes his run now up into turn number 3, where we've seen a few cars go off in free practice. Good, and you? I am doing well. I am doing well. For a delightful Sunday afternoon. The sun is out. I am streaming. It is absolutely amazing. I got no chance to start on that video, Elizabeth. I got no chance. I was busy. So I will try to get to it at some point. I got no chance. I've been busy. I had to do a bit of tidying of this room. So, and it's still not perfect. I'd like to fix it up a bit more. I don't like words like some point. But okay. I will get to it. No, it's alright. Okay, thank you. But, like, genuinely, I've been busy. Bernie Collins on the pit wall.
Tired for this first run in Q1, and watch the McLarens and the Verstappen. They have not run a medium at all this weekend. There's a first taste of the medium tyre. Can they get everything out of it to get through to Q2?
It's going to be a really intriguing next 14 minutes or so, Alex.
It certainly is. 14 and a half minutes. Get a green screen and hide all the rubbish behind it. Yeah, I think you can put green screens on. Well, you could put green screens on streams. Retouch. I don't know what flip retouch is. I don't know what retouch is. I couldn't be bothered. 14 minutes to go. Alex Albon sets the fastest time so far, 1:43.1. Quickly displaced by Behrman, who's just done that 1:43.1 that I just mentioned. This is Hulkenberg. Locking up here at turn 15. Nearly in the fence for Hulkenberg. And struggling to get that car turned in at the apex. But just scraping the wall and more or less missing any damage that could be, as Charles Leclerc now makes his run out of turn 4 and into the braking zone now of turn 5. Charles Leclerc 4 tenths up through the first sector. It is purple at the moment. Isn't quality already done? It is, but I'm streaming it because it was like 1 a.m. for me when it was streamed. As Leclerc on the exit turn 7 And purple through the first sector. Hamilton has gone personal best through the first sector at the moment. Turn 12 now for Leclerc. On the exit, get the power down. Now, that short, sharp run. Not really short, sharp, but it's close enough to it. Short, sharp run now up into turn 15. The hard braking zone where we've seen a lot of drivers already go off so far. On the exit, scrape and get as close as you can to the wall. Now, the braking zone of 16. Practically the final corner. Before the fast left, right, left of this circuit where Leclerc is going through now. 18, 19, and just missing the wall on the exit of 19 and into 20. Norris has gone up 800ths through the first and second sector. He's on to go to the top. Lawson's done a 42.4. What does Leclerc do as he runs the line? No slipstream. It's 4 tenths up. It's a 141.9. Good lap there from Leclerc as a good banker. Hamilton 4th, 7 tenths off the pace. He's done a 42.6. 42.752. What does Norris do? He will go to the top, I'm going to guess. What's that going to be? It's second, still 4 tenths off. It's a 42.407. That's a really good lap from Charles Leclerc. Purple through all 3 sectors. Purple through 2 sectors except 1, which we all know what sector that was. It was sector 3. With no slipstream, it shows just how much you get hurt by that. Liam Lawson up into P3. There's a yellow flag out at the moment. 11.5 minutes to go. Max Verstappen, purple through the second sector. Is he going to go to the top? I'm going to guess he is. On those numbers, there's a Red Bull off. I think that's a Red Bull. I think that's Albon. No, it's Albon, one of the Williams cars. Oh, off. Here, Oscar Piastri's. Oh, no. Oscar Piastri's not going to be able to finish his lap. You're kidding. Oscar, with 11.5 minutes to go, is not going to finish his lap. And there's left front suspension damage on the front of Alex Albon's car. Red flag out in Q1 here. With 11.5 minutes to go. How unfortunate for Oscar Piastri, not able to finish that lap. This is what happened to Alex Albon. I think that's on the exit of turn 1. So did he just nudge the wall here? He did. He's just nudged the wall and fully, and I'm not kidding, he fully just broke the left front suspension off that car. Teared it clean off. Albon?
Sorry.
That is very, very unfortunate for Alex Albon. Pushing a bit too hard, braking a bit too late into turn number 1. Headwind caught him out, turned in late, and he's just clipped that barrier. And there will be a bit of work to do. You can see, it took a few seconds for the suspension arm to be like, oh yes, I'm broken. I must start shaking everywhere. So it took a few moments, but it was inevitable that that car was almost but broken. You can see the witness mark on the wall down there on that Qatar Airways wall. That is just a witness mark, as Oscar Piastri was actually out on the medium compound tyres. He was, hi, I'm in your house. Yep, I know you are. Yeah, I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. It's Mason. Hello, Mason, or Jacoby, or Callan, or whoever it is. Yep, you're not playing. You're not slick. Absolutely huge. 11.5 minutes to go. Here, yeah, they're not slick. They're not slick. They gave that away so easily. They gave that away so... How did I know they were going to do that? It was... Wow, you're so slick. You're so slick. You're so good. You're so good at keeping a clear head, aren't you? Yeah. That's really good. Red flag out in this session.
That's a branch on my rear right corner. Okay.
A branch on the rear right corner of Esteban Ocon's car, and now pulling his way into the pit lane. And into the pits now comes Esteban Ocon and what will be now retrieved Alex Albon, and we've gone green again. So that was a really fast recovery there from the crews down there, possibly just pushing that car back behind the wall, or getting just a crane out there immediately to get that car recovered. 11.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session.
If you get into the airbox, through the hole above the driver's helmet, again, that could create issues there. You see the airbox on the top of Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. So these are all things. They've got filters, of course, that, for various things in the car, but even in the radiators and things like that, it can be a problem. Not so much over one lap necessarily, today, but certainly if you've got something, in any of these entry points into the car at the start of the Grand Prix tomorrow, then you've got to carry that for 51 laps. That could create a big problem.
They certainly can. The one benefit around here, though, is that you can overtake around this track. And indeed, 4 out of 8 have been won from outside the front row. 10 of the 24 podium finishes in Baku have come outside of the top 3. So anything can happen. And as it says, plastered around the walls here in Baku, expect the unexpected. Ted, are you expecting the unexpected?
Well, we've got the branch. Did you see this, that Colapinto and Alonso got hit by some balloon in practice that was blown onto the track from a fan zone? So, yeah, that's unexpected, certainly. Williams, who expected to have both cars into Q3, that's unexpected, and so disappointing for them with Alex Albon. But, yeah, everybody ready to go. Of course, the ones on the medium tyres, the McLarens, not a problem for them. They can carry on. Their slightly harder wearing tyres, obviously, can keep going on them, but everyone else is going to have to throw potentially a new set of softs.
Yeah, thanks, Ted. Just getting another look at Alex Albon clouting the inside apex at turn 1 and immediately breaking the suspension, and Alex Albon will be out in Q1 when we resume. He was out in Q1 in Bahrain and Hungary, didn't score points in either of those races, as we hopefully get this session back underway shortly. In the meantime, we can head down to the pit wall. Bernie.
Hello Harry, so I just was having a look as a strategist will be now with this red flag. What is the possible strategies going forward? What can a driver do with the remainder of this Q1 session? And with 16 minutes, over 16 minutes, nearly 17 on the clock, we can actually, sorry I'm wrong on that, but we can actually get 2 runs in here. So we can get 2 runs of a single time lap, still with a 2-minute turnaround in the garage. So there is time for 2 runs for those drivers that haven't set a lap so far or want to later on in this session.
Thanks, Bernie. We just had the notice. Q1 will resume at 4:15 local time. So a couple of minutes time for that, with about 11 minutes and 33 seconds left on the clock.
So they've gone straight back out and they're going to queue at the end of the pit lane. This will help. But what I'm just hoping the tyre pressure's down for some of them. But look, Mercedes on mediums for both drivers there. Red Bull and Racing Bulls, it looks like, going for mediums. I can't quite see what Ferrari.
Looks like a soft.
Yeah, Ferrari's gone on soft for both cars. Aston Martin on the medium as well. So we've got a mixture out there. And, we talked about it earlier, Harry, didn't you? About the need to get a banker time on the board, because we have seen throughout free practice, we get a lot of yellow flags around here. Drivers going up escape rows and things like that. And if you don't get a decent time on the board early, you could get caught out in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the session. So there's a real jeopardy around waiting right for the end. The benefit of waiting right for the end is that the track conditions improve. You get more rubber on the track cleans up a bit more on the racing line. So the actual grip conditions theoretically should be the best at the end, but then you run the risk of getting caught with a yellow flag, as Lando Norris found out last year when he got knocked out in Q1.
And it's his teammate Oscar Piastri, though, in this year's Q1 session that finds himself down in that elimination zone at the moment. He's got the pace, but he couldn't finish his lap on the medium tyre due to the red flag that came out for Alex Albon's crash in the Williams. So Piastri is going to want to get out there and get on with it.
And I wonder with the medium tyre as well, Bernie rightly pointed out earlier, they haven't run the tyre before. So as a driver, when you're in the cockpit, the feeling you get through the steering wheel when you first start to wind the lock on, the feeling you get under your foot when you get on the brakes, or your right foot when you start to pick up the throttle, is slightly different on every compounder tyre. And you've got to find a way to sort of ease your comfort level as they're wheeling Liam Lawson's car back into the pits. So he was
edging in, but he didn't get out in time to form up right in the fast lane. So I wonder if they're just bailing out of that one, or if there is a bigger problem with Lawson there.
So we'll find out in a couple of minutes. But I think, so for the drivers, they need to get that feeling in their brains of what the medium tyre feels like. I also wonder, we saw in free practice, didn't we, that actually people were improving their times on their second or even sometimes their third push lap on the soft tyre. On the medium, again, logically, you'd expect that to be the case. So, yeah, we'll see how they play it. Whether they just stick with this set of tyres and do multiple laps, or do they come in, as Bernie said, they have got an option to swap and do a second run?
A few Ferrari fans, a lot of Ferrari fans in the grandstands around here. 5 podiums achieved here. And of course, as we've been saying, Charles Leclerc, king of these streets when it comes to qualifying, but has yet to step onto the top of the podium on a Sunday afternoon as we can get this qualifying session back underway, and they teeter out of the pit lane to try and create themselves a bit of a gap. And this is where we're going to see it really come down to the final few moments, where you're positioned on track. They'll be working hard on the pit walls to try and work out how best to get enough clean air in front of you, but also work out that where are you going to be coming out of turn 16? Can you afford to be a couple of seconds back from the car in front and give yourself a distant tow to sail you over the line and safely through into Q2?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? When you're in that queue of cars, Alonso and Gasly being the first car out, he's up to turn 7 already. But the McLarens are still in the pits. We're over a minute now into it. This is the Kimi Antonelli.
He's been noted for a yellow flag infringement.
So they've added this lap because that was a double yellow.
I didn't see it.
They were in a little bit.
Yes, it's the same thing that happened to Oscar Piastri in free practice. For anyone who watched free practice yesterday, as you come through turn 1, even if you don't see the yellow, by seeing the green flag in front of you, you have to assume that you are in a yellow flag zone. And therefore, yesterday, Piastri got a reprimand in free practice for going flat out through that yellow flag zone. In qualifying, they might take a stricter view.
I think they will. I think that could be a penalty, a grid penalty coming the way of Kimi Antonelli, who was speaking to some.
Quite unfortunate there for Kimi Antonelli. A possible good penalty coming the way of Andrea Kimi Antonelli there for a yellow flag infringement at turn number 1 with 9.5 minutes to go. This is the form of Oscar Piastri. He's been very, very consistent in the recent past. Britain 2nd, Belgium 2nd, Hungary 2nd, Netherlands 1 from that retirement from Lando, and then 3rd at the Italian Grand Prix last time out when we went racing. Hopefully he can break that streak of seconds that he's had against his teammate, but those consistent seconds have put him in the championship lead by over 20 points. Andrea Kimi Antonelli now starting his flying lap on the medium tyres with 8.5 minutes to go. Loads to do and loads to happen in this 8.5 minutes remaining as DRS opens now for Kimi Antonelli and into the brake zone now of turn number 3. Investigation after the session. Kimi Antonelli, yellow flag infringement. Through turn 3 now. Turn 4, heavy braking zone, breakdown into about 90 kilometers an hour. 3rd gear on the exit, 4th, 5th, 6th, and braking back to 3rd, 110 kilometers an hour through the chicane. On the exit, get the power down using the ripple strip there on the left-hand side. And that first sector's not too bad. It's a few tenths off Leclerc as you run through turn 7 now. Bit of traffic from the Mercedes and the RP in front of his teammate George Russell. Up through the custom section, 11, 12, and 13. 13 on the approach here. This is the fast, flat-out section here. Max gear, nearly 7th, 8th, 300 kilometers an hour on approach to turn at number 15. Hit the apex, turn it in, try not to bump the wall on the outside. Use the ripple strip. Let's see what this second sector's like. It's 1.5 seconds up. Very good, but Kimi has just messed that up there. Into the brake zone of turn 16. He's just ran wide. That will be an invalidation through the final corner of turn 20 now. And to the line, that will possibly be an invalidation here for Kimi Antonelli. He will be in strife. 1.1 seconds up Piastri. He's on par with what Antonelli did. That's 10th for Antonelli. We'll see what he can do. He's a second up in the first sector. Finally, an actual commentary. Through turn 16, 1.7 seconds up. So this is going to be a good lap. It's about 6 tenths faster than what Kimi did through the second sector. This will be Hamilton to the top, 141.8. Good lap there from the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton. Yellow flag out onto the circuit. If there's a red flag, there could be a bit of strife for Oscar Piastri. Does it get to the line in time? It does. It's second. Verstappen, red flag. And that was really close for Oscar Piastri. He just crossed the line. And Max Verstappen on a lap that could have put him to the top. There's now another red flag, and it's Hulkenberg, who's in the fence at turn 1. Hulkenberg in the fence, turn number 1. And how close was Oscar Piastri to not setting once again another lap? That's second, but Hamilton's lap of a 141.4 is 2/10 off of what we saw in FP2. And there's a bit more rubber down as well from F2 before. So track is ramping up here in this session. Let's see what happened to Hulkenberg. As he set his brake bias to 58. That was a mistake in the fence and broken front wing. That's not what he needed for Hulkenberg as he runs over the debris that he has left behind. And another red flag here in qualifying. Baku brings red flags. And no front wing on the front of Hulkenberg's car. He'll bring back to the pit lane. Try and see if there's any more, like, for example, suspension damage. But he's out at this point, Hulkenberg. 1.1 seconds off the pace. He's done a 42.9. And he's down in P20. Not what he would have needed. Max Verstappen, though, he would have gone to the top by, nearly 6/10 over Lewis Hamilton. He would have done a 40. That would have been a really good lap for Max Verstappen, but couldn't get it finished. Another name up there inside the top 5 is Yuki Tsunoda. Liam Lawson up there in P7. Carlos Sainz up in P8. Colapinto in P10. And Behrman in P13. This is what happened to Kimi Antonelli. So you can see here, into the brake zone, turn 16. Just locked up the front left very, very slightly. It was the slightest of lockups for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Here's the radio.
Yeah, but what happened in the last corner?
Yeah, we're just looking into that.
We got no grip. It's just nothing.
Yeah, that was tailwind gust there.
So Kimi Antonelli there complaining about the tailwind that is ever so evident around this circuit. It very much is evident here this weekend. We have race, there you go, race control, track limits, Antonelli time deleted, 143.0. He's now dropped right back to P20 on the grid. That is not what Kimi Antonelli needed. 141.8 though for Lewis Hamilton, who at the moment is at the top of Q1.
Before the red flag. So, positive once more for the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, well, we've got the red flag. I'd love to get Bernie in from the pit wall. Bernie, just what do you think? 6 minutes 36 to go. You've got some drivers on the medium, some on the soft. What do you think the strategy is going to be for, the likes of obviously the top runners who are at the moment in for the next part of qualifying, but Antonelli as well? What do you think they'd be doing?
Yeah, so just having a look at that, Corinne, and there's not time for 2 runs from this point forward with the only just under 6:40 on the clock, but there is time for push, cool push. So if I was on a pit wall, anyone that you thought was at risk, you need to have fuel in the car for that push, cool push in case you need to abort. Now whether that's a soft or a medium tyre will come down to what the drivers feel most comfortable with at this stage, but I think for that sort of run plan you've got around 1 minute margin. So you don't want to be at the back of the trail. You don't want to be at the back leaving the pit lane. If you're at the back, you likely won't get that final push lap in, and that's going to be so important. And wow, what a lucky boy Oscar Piastri is. He crossed the line 2 seconds before the red flag was thrown on official timing from what I can see here. So very fortunate to get that lap in. So we're showing that yellow flags, red flags playing a part. You need to be early out of the pit lane.
Yeah, Bernie, where you're positioned as well, I think you're right outside Sauber. Can you get a check-in with Nico Hulkenberg and how his car's looking?
Yeah, I could just about see the nose of the car. There's a lot of mechanics right in front of it at the moment. There seems to be a bit of work going on, but I need to go back and check, Harry, because I think if you cause a red flag in the session, can you take further part in the session? We had that with Carlos Simons at one point. Maybe someone else better can remind us.
We'll double check the regulations on that. Ted, from pit lane, what have you got?
I believe you can, Bernie, but as I saw Hulkenberg as he passed me, a large part of the front of the floor is broken and very heavily damaged. It's not so easy. I mean, Sauber can put a new front wing and nose cone on the car and send Hulkenberg out. I'm sure they will, but his car's very badly damaged. It'll be very slow because of the loss of downforce.
Yeah, and as you say that, Ted, the pit lane really hot up here. Lots of drivers, the two halves in front of me on soft tyres. Then I can see the two Racing Bulls on medium tyres, and then it looks like medium beyond that. But everyone taking my advice is about the front of the queue here, which is a Williams, as I can see, of Carlos Sainz. P1 in this queue beside that red light.
This is the challenge, though, for the teams who have been successful last year, the likes of McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull, because in the pit lane here in Baku, they're at, shall we say, the bottom end of the pit lane, the entry of the pit lane. So that means whatever happens when they have to join this queue, they're going to be at the back of the queue. So it's not so much of a problem for the McLaren or the Ferrari duo if they're all in.
You're not giving me your fun sometimes. Just needs 6.5 minutes just to have clean lap.
Good advice there from the boss. Is that Hulkenberg coming back out?
That looks like it might be Bortoletto.
Quite
So it's a yellow. Bortoletto's got the yellow T-cap. Yeah, a glint of yellow there. So yeah, Gabby Bortoletto.
Yeah,
He's
so
down in 18th at the moment.
But just looking at this queue, though, I think it's. Just want to point out, we haven't mentioned him, but Tsunoda's done a great job so far. Only a 10.5 off Max Verstappen. So, in recent times, we were worried about Tsunoda in the early parts of qualifying, and the fact that he's got that early lap, that banker lap on the board before the red flag, just gives him a little bit of breathing room. Something that Antonelli hasn't got at this stage.
No, and when Toto Wolff comes over the team radio to try and G up his driver, you know that he might be feeling a little bit of the pressure. Q1 will resume at 4:28 local time, so just a couple more minutes. Another yellow flag infringement. You would have seen it pop up on the TV a few moments ago. That's for Gabriel Bortoletto in the other Sauber, so that has been noted. So Sauber really not having their day of days here this weekend in Baku. Bortoletto has been struggling for most of the weekend. Hulkenberg has shown flashes of pace, but causing that red flag by crashing into the barriers.
Less than a minute to go for the start or restart of qualifying, and yeah, this is who do we think's under pressure now? So if we think Albon's obviously out, Hulkenberg, we don't think he can get back out if he's got a whole load of floor damage. There's no way you could repair and replace the floor of the car in this time you've been red flag. So that's two cars gone straight away, right? We know the Alpines have been struggling a little bit.
Actually quite impressive for Colin Pinto to be up there inside the top 10.
That's what I was going to say. They've been struggling a bit in practice, but at the moment they look like they're in. So we'll see. I mean, there's a very exciting 6.5 minutes coming up, that's for sure.
Baku, expect the unexpected, and that is what is happening right now. No further investigation. That's for Lance Stroll, who was also under investigation for, you guessed it, a yellow flag infringement. As we get back going again and try and see off Q1 with less than 6.5 minutes remaining. Alex Albon will go no further in this qualifying. He is out as Gabriel Bortoletto in the Sauber tries to get to the edge his way in front of the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, who is also in danger. He's down in 16th and actually struggling in practice so far this weekend. Kimi Antonelli is in desperate need of a clean and quick lap to get himself through and join his teammate George Russell, who's up in 9th, but also in danger. The likes of Esteban Ocon in the Haas. He's been outclassed so far this weekend by his teammate Ollie Behrman. Isaac Hadjar as well. The Racing Bulls have looked quick, but his teammate at the moment is all the way up in 7th. Hadjar right on the fringes of the knockout zone.
Indeed, Hadjar is. He's P14 at the moment, not what RB would have wanted. Of course, we saw that graph in FP3 showing that RB are genuinely in this hunt to score top 10s most races here, with a few upgrades coming onto the back of that car, new front wings, new floors. New floor would be really huge for that RB car with the downforce. It tends to lack just a little bit. But at the moment, it's a Ferrari 1-3. Ferrari just seem as if they've got a lot of pace around here. It seems as if that Ferrari has a lot of downforce. It's got a mix of both. A bit of downforce, a bit of straight line speed. And it's working for them. It really is. It's working for that Ferrari. It's working so well to the point where, as you can see there, Behrman does... Yeah, I think he's doing a prep push for Ollie Behrman. He's currently, at the moment, P12. Behrman is somewhat safe. Here, the projected knockout time. My projected knockout time is... Oh, to be honest, I'm going to say a 42... 42.9. I'm going to say 142.9. If you've done a 142.9, you're probably out. That's my projected knockout time. Or maybe even a 42.7. 42.6. 42.6. I'm sticking 42.6 for this session. Colapinto, I don't reckon he's safe. He's still in the pit lane, Franco Colapinto. He'd have to come out now to do a prep and then a push for Franco Colapinto. Both the Alpines have come in. Let's see, indeed. Let's see if that's right. Both the Alpines have come back into the pit lane. So they're P10 and P13 at the moment. Let me tell you this much. They are not safe. They are not safe. If my projected knockout time is right, they are not safe. Alpine are not safe. They've come back in P10, P13. They've been struggling with a bit of pace as we run on board with Kimi Antonelli through turn 4. Get the power down. 100 and 200 kilometres an hour on approach to now turn number 5. He's half a second up through the first sector, but it's only going to put in P15. These mediums have had their life taken out of them. So Mercedes are in trouble. They are very much in trouble here for one of their drivers. Leclerc has gone fastest through the first sector by 0.6 of a second over his teammate. Not 0.6, sorry. It is 1/10, sorry. 1/10 Lando Norris has gone faster through the first sector to 35.4. Track is ramping up here as Kimi Antonelli runs through turn 15. The time to beat to get into Q2 is, and there you go, he's 9/10 up. Good second sector there for Kimi. Really good second sector. Nearly a second up. This is going to be a really good lap. Leclerc, 4/10 up on Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton is at risk of losing his top spot, 141.8. Russell's gone to the top. He's done a 41.6. What does Kimi Antonelli do, the Italian? Can he get into the Q2? To the line, P6. Good lap, Kimi. Really, really good lap, 142.2. Leclerc, he possibly might get a toe, slight toe. It's to the top. It's a 141.4. And my projected knockout time, 43.0 from Hadjar. 42.6 is Carlos Sainz. Nice has gone to the top now, 141.3. We're 1/10 off the pace of FP2. Does Verstappen go to the top? Here in Q1, no. He's 9 milliseconds, 9 thousandths off the top of the session. Behrman, personal best through the second sector. He's just under a 10th down. Carlos Sainz, 42.6. The projected knockout time is a 42.4. So I was correct in a way. I was correct. That is slower. 42.63. Behrman, 11th. He's not safe. 42.6 will not get you in. That's slower. My projected knockout time was right. Ocon, 14th. That's not safe. Hadjar, personal best through the first and second sector. Bortoletto, 6/10 up. At the moment, that's not safe either for the Kick Sauber. That'll only put in P17. Hadjar, opening DRS to the line now. We get a toe. This is a fat toe from the car in front. Hadjar might just get in here. Hadjar's going to get in. It's P5 for Isaac Hadjar. What a lap. Good lap. It's a 141.6. Bortoletto, P11. Good lap as well. 42.5. He's just going to be safe. Just, I reckon. Bortoletto's just safe. Stroll, 8th. Alonso, he's 17th in that Aston Martin. Can he pounce himself into Q2? Yes, he'll get another lap as well if he wants. He's not going to do another one, but it's 9th. 142.2. Car off. Red flag. And that is Franco Colapinto, who is off the road, one of the Alpines. I think it's Pierre Gasly. It's either Gasly or Colapinto here because he's really struggling to get out of there. Red flag here in Q1 at the very end at a dot of 0. And Elizabeth, my projected knockout time was right. Pierre Gasly, so it was Pierre Gasly off the road here as into the braking zone, turn 3. Yep, so he hit the apex, big slide, loss of traction, loss of grip in the rear end, and not going to happen. Just couldn't make the corner. And that, you are not spinning around, my friend. So my projected knockout time was, oh, big crash! Oh my god, big crash, and both Alpines are out! Oh, big crash for Franco Colapinto. You're kidding me. Sideways bang in the fence. Colapinto out. Both Alpine cars are out here in Q1. Oh my god.
Any further, and he's given his mechanics a bit of hard work before the race tomorrow.
Yeah, but he saw Gasly in the runoff area.
So he shouldn't have been pushing
him. So I don't know. I mean, I presume there was a yellow. Well, there was a yellow for Gasly. So is he going to be in trouble? Ted, I don't know what you've got for us, but I wonder if he's going to be in trouble for crashing under the yellow flag.
That would be the ultimate insult to injury, and then another insult. And that's before Flavio Briatore gets his hands on it. But I can tell you, Karun, that they were slightly victims of their own making, their Alpine, because everybody had gone out, knowing that in Baku you will get, it's very likely that you get your last lap negated by a red flag. Alpine went out with about 2 minutes 30 to spare, after everybody else just wanting to get one run at the end of what they thought was going to be the best track conditions. And not only one of them already.
Just there was a big tailwind gust just before that lockup. Probably didn't help. Yeah, so really messy.
The wind didn't help, the drivers didn't help, the accidents didn't help, nothing helped. But yeah, going out so late, you will be victim to that kind of thing, and then both crash.
Yeah, that's it. And that is a real shame for the Alpine team. Both drivers out of this one, along with Nico Hülkenberg's Sauber, Esteban Ocon's Haas, and Alex Albon in the Williams.
So, indeed, not what that team would have wanted or needed in Q2. Let's head back up to Sky Sports F1.
Or Pierre Gasly actually at the end of this one. Start of Q2 delayed, by the way, as the Tech Pro barriers at turn 4 need fixing. So race control are in the process of getting that. So hope we can get Q2 underway. One man who will not be in Q2, along with, well, for a few others, like Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Pierre Gasly, but it was Alex Albon who looked like he should sail through to Q2. In the end, a crash with the barriers, and we can hear from him now.
Hi, Alex. It looked like you perhaps had more grip than you were expecting going through there. Was that what happened?
Yeah, a bit rookie error, let's say. I think I was first out on my first push, so I was the first car through turn 1, let's say, and had absolutely no grip. And then when I came back a lap later, it was huge grip. But I can't blame anyone for myself. It was a bit of a silly error, to be honest with you. It's a shame because we've been really quick all weekend. I think we've been top 8 almost every session, and it should have been pretty much the same through qualifying. Just yeah, frustrating. Wish I had a restart button.
Damage-wise, how much is there?
No, it's fine. It's a push rod, but that's about it. So there's a rim damage as well, but easy to fix for tomorrow. Just starting out position. That's the main penalty.
What sort of opportunity could there be then to move up? I mean, if you can use the DRS down the start-finish straight to get past people, you've got some better straight line speed than a lot around you.
Yeah, yes. Let's see. I actually did the long runs in FP2, and I really struggled to overtake cars in front, and we were clearly quicker than them. And as soon as I got close to them, I staggered and I actually overheated my tyres. So there's still an element of tyre saving that needs to be done around here, which isn't easy around a street track. We're gonna have to pick our moments. I'm hoping the weather or something comes into play tomorrow. You never know, but yeah, I feel like I've definitely pressed on the back foot for tomorrow. Thank you.
Sounds like it might be a long day at the office then for Alex Albon, right at the back of the grid and not able to really live that potential. His teammate Carlos Sainz made it through up into 14th. As we get confirmation, Q2 will start at 16:48 local time. In the meantime, we can check in, I think, with the Skypad.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. While we're in this lull of the red flag, just want to try and clear a few things up for you guys in the commentary box. So first of all, this is Hulkenberg. He's just finished his last lap before we came to the incident with Colapinto. So he's on a cool-down lap here, as you can see. He gets overtaken there by the Racing Bulls. He's clearly not pushing. In the distance is the yellow light panel we just passed there. I'll just speed that on through the next corner because on the exit you'll clearly see now the double waved the light when it goes from one to the other side. That's the double yellow, and then on the right hand side is the physical flag itself. So now we've got the yellow flags out there, and that's why the drivers take an extra care before they get to turn 4. On the left hand side you've got again another yellow flag. So Hulkenberg, he did get his lap in. It's not like he was pushing when the red flag came out, as he was coming up to the line like Alonso narrowly just got through. Then if we go to the actual Colapinto crash, I think it was Karun wondering whether it was a white or yellow. So was I at the time as well. So if we move this one on, so bearing in mind we've just gone through this same corner on the exit of turn 3, and we had the yellow flag on the right hand side, and this panel on the left was a double waved yellow, and this is what we were getting confused with. It's not the best of, it's not the easiest thing to see here, whether it's yellow or white. But now we've just seen what a double waved yellow is compared to this one. This is the white light for a slow moving vehicle or stopped vehicle on track, or what it was for, in this case, Gasly is off the circuit in front. So that's why Colapinto was still pushing when he came up to this point of the corner. I don't know if you can still hear me, I'm coming in now. And that's why he lost control. That's why he was still pushing, because it was just the white flag indeed, not the double yellow. So hopefully that just clears that up for everybody back at home and for you guys in the commentary box as well, because I was certainly confused by it as well.
Yeah, thanks, Ad. There's been a lot of, is that a white or a yellow flag so far in Baku?
Yeah, I feel like we need a different flag for when the cars go off in that runoff areas.
And if you're colourblind, well, you've got no chance, surely.
Yeah, but then you got a whole lot of it, because then you don't see the red flag either. Anyway.
I think that's a feature there somewhere.
I'm going to move away. You and Ant can do that feature. You two are making a great double act. Yeah, just on Alpine before we go. I saw some comments from Flavio Briatore in the written press yesterday saying it's a straight shootout for 2026 between Franco Colapinto and Paul Aron, their reserve driver. So, and he was pretty strong about saying it's only between those two. He doesn't feel like there's anyone in Formula 2 good enough to get a seat. He sort of didn't mention Jack Doohan, which seems quite harsh because, Jack didn't have many opportunities to really prove himself. And yeah, Flavio's gone flat out in classic Flavio style and basically gone, right, it's only these two. I'm not looking at anyone else, which is very strong.
Yeah, Paul Aron has been impressing actually in his FP1 outings, done a couple of Sauber as well as Alpine, scheduled to do a couple more. Colapinto has picked up in terms of performances. He's out-qualified Gasly in 2. We'll make that 3 now of the last 4 races, depending on how much damage is done on that Alpine, if he can take up his starting position of 16th. Gasly out down in 19th. But then we are underway now for Q2, so it is the fight to get inside the top 10 and for that ultimate battle for pole position. And and we've already got a car finding its way into the runoff, and that is the Racing Bulls of Isaac Hadjar, who is just doing a bit of steady reversing to get himself back on the track. So an early yellow flag, and I think we head down to pit wall with Bernie Collins. Bernie, this is going to be yet more strategic headaches up and down the pit wall.
Pit walls are busy, I'll tell you that. It's definitely where you make your money on a day like this. But just a few bits of information to pick up on what Alan Tremaine said there. Looking at the strategy plan for this session, I think you can get one run of a push, and then another run of a single push lap. So 2 runs in this session, I think, a maximum of 3 time laps. If there's no yellow or red flags, a quick look at the overlay, so the comparison between Lando Norris, Verstappen and Leclerc, and where Norris is losing time is through that section, through that tight twisty bit. He actually gains on both straights compared to the others, but that's where the McLaren would need to improve. The others, the Ferrari and the Red Bull, both looking strong in straight line, particularly down the main straight. So more to come through this session, hopefully, Harry.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks, Bernie. And a little bit of a slide out there for the Ferrari again. That wind playing havoc with all of the drivers left.
Yeah, I think turn 4 is a tricky one today because it's kind of the same as turn 16. You've got the tailwind there, and that's why I think we're seeing so many drivers struggling at turn 4 and turn 16. And you know, if you've got we heard some radio from Fernando Alonso earlier on the other channel saying they've seen gusts of up to 22 kilometers an hour. So it's like a big hand just pushing the car on in a way that they don't expect. Oh, Behrman's touched the wall. The car's crabbing. Yeah. The rear right looks like it's damaged. So exit of turn 2, I think he's touched the wall. This could go red because he's parked at a spot, but I don't see a gap in the wall for the marshals to pull the car off track. It's obviously a double wave yellow, but this could go red.
Is car okay? I don't think so.
Behrman out in Q2. Red flag has been pulled in this session, and once more we go red in qualifying. Not what these teams will have needed. Ollie Behrman out in qualifying 2, second stage here in this session. Feels as if this session has just gone for much longer than what it needed to here. But Ollie Behrman out here in Q2.
Quicker than his teammate all weekend so far, and we'll have to be careful in the race, being on 10 penalty points. We'll see what happened, and right on the exit as he applied the power.
Yeah. That's really, that's frustrating.
Sorry, guys. Stupid.
Yeah, I hear a bit annoyed with that. You know, as Bernie said, there's time for the drivers to have done 2 push laps on the first run and a single push later. So to crash out on your first run of Q2, which should be your banker lap, you know, you generally leave a little bit of margin on that first lap, especially when you know on the medium tyres that he's on, people are improving. People are improving on their second push lap, so the grip is going to come. And in the first sector of your first push lap, to have a crash, I think that's something that he will be. Well, he sounds very annoyed. He's going to kick himself for that, and I think the team will be annoyed. You know, what did we say in that feature when we were walking in? All he just needs clean weekends. He's fast. He needs clean weekends, and again, that's a potentially good qualifying or a good result that's gone away.
But it's certainly really annoying. It's really very much in our vision.
Now, I thought they had special visors to cater for the change in sunlight.
Also, what do you want the engineer to do? Turn the sun off? I mean...
yes, come on. That's a simple request from driver to engineer, isn't it?
Yes, Brian Bocci. Could you ask the sun god to just move a little bit? I mean...
They'll check. Right, red flag at the moment with 11 minutes and 54 on the clock. What's happening in the pit lane, Ted?
Well, I've got a bit of sympathy for Charles Leclerc because, you know, we if nothing had happened and there'd be no red flags, qualifying would be finishing in 6 minutes' time, wouldn't it, Harry? So it is getting quite late into the afternoon. Who knows how many more we're going to have. We're only on the first runs of Q2. Those Ferraris were on used tyres, so they wouldn't have suffered too much. The McLarens and the Red Bull were on new tyres, so I assume they'll just go out on the same set. But someone who wasn't out at all and who won't have been disadvantaged was Antonelli and George Russell. So I don't know whether they just thought that, let's just calm everything down. What's been a fractious enough session and weekend for Mercedes so far. But yeah, I'm just looking right into their garage now. They were just sat in the garage. I think they'll put on a new set of tyres and see what they can do in the last. How many more minutes have we got? 10 minutes left?
Yeah, 11 minutes and 54 to be precise. Q2 will resume at 16:58, so a few more minutes time. That'd be a great view over this street circuit. Actually, wherever you stand, in any grandstand around here, you've got a pretty awesome view and no corner, quite like the other, and you can always get something happening at all. Technically 20 corners around this track, 12 that go left, 8 that go right, and turn 16 really the final proper corner that sees you out onto the slight left, kinks, 2.2 kilometres long. Alexander worked out it was 25 seconds they are spent at full throttle, all the way from 16 to turn 1.
Ferraris joining the fast lane at the head of the queue, and split strategy there. See Leclerc on mediums, Hamilton on soft. So
okay, so we're running a little bit behind schedule. I'm going to skip this red flag period. I'm running very much behind in my schedule that I have. I was actually meant to finish this stream in like 4 minutes. Oh golly. Okay, we've got qualifying back underway. I'm actually meant to finish streaming in 4 minutes to go have lunch. So this is not what the doctor ordered, with like 5 red flags. Very much. I'm running very far behind schedule. It is unbelievable. But yeah, we have 10 minutes left in this session now. Of course, there you go. No further investigation between Leclerc and that yellow flag infringement. So speeding under yellow flag, Charles Leclerc will no longer be investigated for that. As what looks to be Kimi Antonelli and George Russell making their way out of the pit lane. And Max Verstappen, no tyres on that car. No driver in that car. That's very questionable. But okay, 10 minutes to go in this session. Ferrari fans, pray to the Lords that Ferrari make it through into Q3. With the pace that we have seen from them, it seems as if that might just happen in this session. In the braking zone now for Charles Leclerc. Turn number 1, mistake! Charles Leclerc mistake, turn 1. The headwind catching people out, and once more, another driver has been caught out with the wind here at Baku. And probably one of the fastest drivers this weekend, Charles Leclerc, has just been caught out. Turn 1, you can see, watch this, under braking for this Ferrari. Under braking, brakes into turn number 1. Bang, car slides sideways, and he has nothing more left but to just go off the road down there, off the escape road. And sadly, for his teammate of Lewis Hamilton, he won't be able to get a tow, so that won't be helpful for his teammate. Isaac Hadjar now making his run through turn 3 on approach near 200 kilometers an hour, heading into turn number 4 and braking right back down to about 85. And then another braking zone, turn 5, purple through the first sector. That won't matter, not at this point, as these are the first laps here in Q2. As Carlos Sainz also starts a lap as well, up through the castle section, 7, 8, and 9. Brake zone turn 10. Very nicely done there for Carlos Sainz. Executed that very nicely through the castle section. Turn 12. Now into the braking zone. Approach of 300 kilometers an hour into turn 13. Down here, very nicely done. Turns it in. gets the power down, and not so bad second sector, 16.4, about a second off what we saw in Q1, as Carlos Sainz now runs through turn 17, and now the long straight, turn 18, 19 and 20 for Carlos Sainz. He won't get a toe, but it also won't be a bad lap for Carlos Sainz. It's a 141.6. That's a good lap from Carlos Sainz. Found a bit of time in the straights. Isaac Hadjar goes second, 141.9. Piastri has gone fastest through the first sector. Lando Norris is 600s up on Carlos Sainz at the moment. Only 600s up on the Williams for Lando Norris. Quite interesting indeed, as he will now open DRS. Down the back straight, 8th gear, max top gear, and a bit of a distant toe from the car in front. We'll see what this lap is going to be for Lando Norris. Is it good enough to go to the top? It is. It's a 141.396 for Lando Norris. Can Oscar Piastri find something here? He's gone personal best for the second sector. See if this lap is any good for Oscar. It's second, still 0.3 off though. So very much still a bit of time to find. George Russell second, 141.4 on that lap. Kimi Antonelli purple through the second sector. Very, very fast indeed. Is this lap going to be good enough for Andrea Kimi Antonelli? It is third spot, 141.531. And he actually has the fastest second sector of a 40.8. Lewis Hamilton through turn 15 now, and making his remark in FP2, topping FP2 actually, 0.8 off the pace through that second sector for Lewis. By the end of the lap here, it seems as if those rear tyres are just starting to burn up a little bit more than what he would have wanted. Lewis Hamilton now opening that DRS, and down at the back straight, Max Verstappen has gone 3.5 seconds faster through the first sector, and that is only because he hasn't set a time yet. Lewis Hamilton P8, so 142.8. That will not be good enough for Lewis on that first lap. He'll have enough time to come in, bolt on a new set of tyres and go again. Max Verstappen, P12 at the moment. He's now making his run up through into turn 15, turn 14, and braking now into turn 15. We'll see what this second sector will be like into turn 15 now. This doesn't seem like the best lap, actually. Seems quite slow. He's 1.5 seconds up on Alonso, who has not really set an indicative time, 9.1 seconds off. But we'll see what this lap is like for Verstappen as he runs through now. On approach to the line of nearly 315 kilometres an hour. And the McLaren behind will be getting a juicy toe off the back here. What does Verstappen do? The McLaren pulls in. Verstappen, second. And that is a 141.4. Good lap there. Charles Leclerc's lap has been deleted. Here, this is Oscar Piastri getting sideways, and that's why we saw a McLaren pulling into the pit lane on that second lap, and those tyres just seem to be dead at the end of that lap. There, this is Charles Leclerc under brakes into turn 4. This would be the main reason. There you go. So he will be able to pirouette that around, hopefully. See the bumps in the road down there, and that car just got badly unsettled over the bumps and locks up and goes straight on. This is Lewis Hamilton under brakes into turn 16. Used a bit of that right-hand side curb, and the car just got unsettled in the front end and wasn't able to keep it under control. But he's 10th at the moment. He's on the cusp of being knocked out with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Jerome Ambrosio, the deputy team principal of Ferrari. 3 minutes 50 seconds to go here in Q2. Here teams will be urgently trying to get a new set of tyres thrown at it, as Charles Leclerc is P14. Behrman P15. Of course, he's out of this session, so Charles Leclerc dead last at the moment in this session. Hamilton is P10, not what the doctor ordered for Ferrari 10th and 14th, when we saw them in FP3 topping top 5, and then FP2, Hamilton topped FP2. So, this is very strange. He's at 10th down, Lewis Hamilton, on Lando Norris. So, it's not a bad first sector, but it can be better for Ferrari. We know what pace they have. Keep an eye on these two here, because they're at huge risk with 3 minutes to go of getting knocked out. Turn 8, castle section for Lewis Hamilton. There's 9 meters of gap to fit a Formula 1 car through that castle section there. Does Lewis Hamilton have the tyre grip to be able to finish this lap? Are the tyres going to be overheated by the back end of the lap? This is turn 15. Getting so close to the walls there, and so is Charles Leclerc, getting even closer to the walls. Leclerc has gone faster than his teammate by 0.2 of a second through the first sector. Hamilton now making his run through the back straight, opening DRS after turn 19. And now the run to the line starts for Lewis Hamilton. The ever so winding run. This will only put him maybe P4, P5, but it will be close enough to safe. P10, he doesn't even go. He doesn't even move position here. So his own teammate could even knock him out. Personal best through the first sector for Charles Leclerc. A minute to go. Hamilton could be knocked out in Q2. Leclerc has gone faster than anybody else through the second sector. It's 0.5 faster than the McLaren of Lando Norris. It's a 141.3. Hamilton could be out. Second sector, 40.7 from Charles Leclerc. Guess what? Lawson has just knocked out Hamilton out of Q2. 141.9. Hamilton 142.1. Hadjar's not safe. Leclerc, 4th, 141.5. He's safe by 0.4 on the projected knockout time. Leclerc, this is what happened at turn 2. So close to the wall, even a bit of contact. But he's kept his foot in on that lap there. Those tyres would be feeling very second hand in the rear end down there. This is under brakes. Turn number 4. Turning the car in. Turn. Bang. And just the slightest of contact. And that would have cost him 1 or 2 tenths. Oscar Piastri, you can see there on the dash. He's only 1/10 up. Running aboard. To the line now for Oscar Piastri. You can see the speedometer, 322 kilometers an hour. Run to the line now for Oscar. What's the lap going to be? It's P2 over his teammate. McLaren 1-2, 141.4. As Bortoleto getting sideways out of turn 17 there. Personal best through the first and second sector. Turn 18 now for Bortoleto. Now the big run long to the line. 1.5 kilometers to run for Bortoleto. Can he make his way into Q2? Antonelli P5. Look at the margins between the top 6 cars. It's 1/10 separating them. Bortoleto has stayed 13th. Here, Hadjar is now into Q3. That is confirmed. P7. Sainz, Lawson, and Alonso into the 10. That is huge. But Lewis Hamilton is out. And yes, Lewis Hamilton out in Q2. Goodness gracious. Flashbacks to Spa in 2025. Both now, Yuki Tsunoda, P11, he's 0.3 up. This will be a good lap here. It'll definitely knock Hadjar a bit further back down. But at the moment, Alonso's at a risk here of being knocked out here in Q2. This lap is very much not safe. 141.7 from Alonso. That's the time to beat to get into Q2. Tsunoda's just scraped in. Very good lap there from Tsunoda. It knocks Alonso out. Hamilton's down to P12. Verstappen will go to the top at this point. He does by a 10th. 141.2 for Max Verstappen. Tops Q2. Very good lap. Very good lap indeed from Max Verstappen. Exactly what he needed. And Lewis Hamilton rethinks life. He's eliminated out in Q2. Very, very unfortunate there from Lewis. Alan Permain in the RB. In RB.
A scrap soft to start with, then you soft at the end. to just try and maximise the track evo.
And now with less cars on track, are you guys thinking about the slipstream at all? Because there's, I'm sure, a reasonable benefit if you can get a good 2 out of 16, even if you lose a little bit in the middle sector, or is that not something you want to plan?
I think what we plan for the optimum if you're running with everyone is to be 4 or 5 seconds behind. So you don't want to be first car, but also you don't want to be any closer than 4 to 5 seconds.
Okay, well, Alan, it's going to be a really intriguing session. We will let you get back to work because we're only 20 seconds away before we get Q3 underway. So best of luck for you and Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar. Let's see how well the Racing Bulls can run in this next final part session of qualifying. Before we get that green light on at the end of the pit lane, let's head down to it, and on the pit wall, Bernie Collins.
Hello, Harry. So I was just trying to have a look through the speed, trying to understand why Hamilton didn't quite make it through there, what went wrong in that lap. I think the first lap that he did on that soft tyre, a bit of a mistake on a turn 15, that's where he loses all the time down that very, very long straight. When I compare his second lap then, obviously on the used soft tyre that he's done several laps on up to that point, he just seemed to lose really from turn 7 onwards, every corner a little bit versus Leclerc, who was on fresher medium tyres. So maybe Ferrari were really not doing what they did with Leclerc and doing that hot pit stop onto a different tyre set for Lewis Hamilton. There'll be questions to be asked of whether some of the tyres he has remaining would have allowed him that advantage in that second half of the lap in order to get through and not have that disadvantage to Charles Leclerc.
Now, Bernie, just looking at Red Bull as well, Max Verstappen going fastest at the end of that session. We know how crucial the toe is all the way down towards turn 1. When you've got a Yuki Tsunoda now up there and the second car to play with, could that be the edge that Verstappen needs to maybe play havoc in this fight for pole?
Yes, it could be hard. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a perfect car out of gears with you, is what we call it. So a toe down the main straight, but not anywhere else through the lap. So maybe they release Verstappen significantly later than Tsunoda, and then they can't get that at the end of Verstappen's flying lap. But let's wait and see. It's hard to engineer that between your two cars.
Bernie, there of the air-conditioned commentary box, Liam Lawson is reporting rain coming out of the pits. I can see some raindrops on the window. Do you feel anything significant down there in the pit lane?
Oh, can you do the classic, put the hand out from underneath?
I've put the hand out. I've put the hand out as Kurt was saying it there. And Kurt, I wouldn't switch my position for your air-conditioned commentary box. You can keep that. It's very, very light. For an Irish person, it's not raining yet. But for others, maybe it's just a tiny bit. It's not going to affect the track. It might cool it down a little, but it's not going to get anywhere near it, from what I can see at the minute.
Yeah, there's been some raindrops really throughout the day, but very, very light, spitting down on us. Not really.
So Bernie Collins there saying that not really much rain, but there is some in the area, and it's not going to affect the track. It's going to cool down the track a little bit. The track temperature is quite high at this point. It is 32 degrees track temperature. So you might see some steam coming off the track, if anything, here as to how hot it is. You can see the rain is evident on the camera lenses here. Is it going to get heavy enough within the next 9 minutes to throw on a set of intermediate tyres? I don't reckon it will. Here as George Russell starts his lap into turn number 1, bit sideways actually now for George Russell, and into turn 2, getting real close and uptight, hugging that inside wall. Lando Norris now also starts his lap, getting the power down into turn number 1. 8.5 minutes to go. We've got a session on our hands between Lando Norris and George Russell. To be honest, I don't reckon the McLarens will take pole here. I mean, they look like they have pace. It just doesn't seem as if it's going to show in this session here. Car off, and that is George Russell. So George Russell off the road down there at turn 4, or on the exit of turn 4. That would have probably compromised Norris's lap. It has, he's backed off. And it's actually raining. So it is physically raining out there at the moment. Liam Lawson could be in for a shot. I think it's genuinely raining out there Verstappen.
It's definitely December. I know, Russell Straight is ready.
It's physically raining out there. No way. Lawson's going to be the only one that completes a lap here, ladies and gentlemen. Lawson, 42.5. That could be the lap that puts pole together. What does Sainz do? 41.5. He's gone nearly a second faster. The track conditions were so much better for those drivers that went out there first. Now, Norris is backed out of this. 7.5 minutes to go. You've just got to hope that the track doesn't get any worse. That you can actually put a lap together here. Yeah, Piastri's gone a second down. This could be huge. Carlos Sainz is the only one that set a time. It's a 1:41.5. Leclerc's in the fence. No! Leclerc has just been in the fence. He's now in the fence. Charles Leclerc in the fence and in the fence hard. You're kidding. Both Ferraris out in Q3. Both Ferraris out. Oh my goodness. It's Ferrari bottle in qualifying. Ferrari have just bottled qualifying. What? Oh my fucking god. And I think my internet just cut out. Typical Ferrari. What the fuck? Is my stream lagging, Belux Pro? What, Bellu, is my stream lagging? It better not be. It better not be. We just got to probably the most game-changing part of... Is my stream lagging? Bellu, is my stream lagging? Please tell me. Please tell me, because Fox has just crashed. Fox has just crashed. I could be in trouble. I could be in trouble. Give me a second. Yep, we're going to the classic cam review. I need to check my internet. My internet monitor just crashed. You're kidding. Please don't have crashed. Nah, you're okay? Okay, good. Okay, I think it's just KO. No, it's probably just Fox. It's fine. It's fine. We're just going to sit here with a black screen. It's perfectly fine. Everything's perfectly fine. Don't worry. Now it's lagging. Oh, shh. Don't lag. Please. Please. Don't lag. Please. Please. Don't do this to me. Please. Don't do this to me. It looks fine. Come on. Please. Please just stay alive. Please. You can stay alive. I could be cooked. It's okay now again? Okay. Can we get back to the racing action, please? Hey, you know what? I'm going to refresh KO. It's fine. We're all good. It's all good. We're perfectly fine. Just got to hope that I can resume watching where I was... Okay. Yeah, then give me a second. See? Everything's fine. We're about 2 hours and 8 minutes. It's fine. It's fine. Bro is crying like the average Ferrari fan. Yep. Well, no, it wasn't the fact that I'm crying. It's the fact that it's almost shocking. Wow. It's almost shocking. Every Ferrari fan in those Carlos Sainz could grab pole. Carlos Sainz could just grab pole. What? Carlos Sainz could just grab pole. Huh? Carlos Sainz might just grab pole. Both Ferraris are out. They're out. Hamilton is out in Q2. Leclerc is out in Q3. Wow. Leclerc in the fence. That's huge.
Track is so slippery. The white lines are ice.
Copy.
Yeah. Carlos Sainz is just... That would be poetic justice if Sainz gets pole. It genuinely would be. It would be poetic justice. This man, Carlos Sainz, could just have grabbed pole. What? Lawson second, Hadjar third.
Start that 6 to 2 good race. I get to have that done.
Carlos Sainz's eyes are like ice cubes right now. Look at him. He's like, please, 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 please go full wet. Please go full wets. Even enough rain. It's physically raining. It's sprinkling. It's sprinkling. It's enough for any rubber, any track grip will... It's enough for the track to fully bloody lose grip.
Section 15, cut paint will be quite slippery when it's wet, and I think that we've not really experienced that many wet sessions here before, so that is a consideration for those drivers. So yeah, it's cursed the commentator for me a bit, saying I didn't think it would affect the track, and then instantly it does, but it's not raining here at the moment. Again, it's dry. There was some light spits, now it's stopped again. And just wanted to quickly say that in terms of drivers who lost out in that red flag, obviously many not set the time, but Antonelli was just a pit entry on a flying lap that would have been so beneficial to get that time down on the board before it went red, as was Piastri. Piastri was in between turn 19 and 20 on a flying lap when that red flag hit, so those two drivers were feeling they're taking one good lap out of those tyres, so close to getting it set on the board, then didn't quite get it with that red flag from McLaren.
Just see on that camera angle, Bernie, there.
It's actually physically raining. Now, these are one of these tracks, like, you think of Bathurst. Baku is one of those tracks. It could be raining on one side of the circuit, and it won't be on the other. It could be raining at turn 1, and it couldn't be raining at bloody turn 15. So, the track could be fully dripped up at turn 15. You might find so much grip on a soft compound tyre, but at turn 1, it could be bloody slippery as. This is what happened to Charles Leclerc. Under brakes, locked up the left front and in the fence. Baku getting more rain than you do all year. Actually, us Aussies, we've got quite a bit of rain lately. We genuinely have. We genuinely have got quite a bit of rain. We've genuinely got quite a bit of rain lately. Baku is getting more rain than anything else. It's physically dark clouds out there. Carlos Sainz might just grab pole. That doesn't make sense. That wasn't on the script. It was meant to be like Oscar Piastri that grabs pole or something. Andrea Stella is like, oh shit. His eyes are like, oh no, okay, we're gonna be starting P5 and P6. Yep. Carlos Sainz could just grab pole. He hasn't grabbed pole since he was in a Ferrari. Golly. It could be Williams' first pole in like half a century. It's been a while since Williams have grabbed a pole position. It's been a while since Williams have grabbed a flipping pole position. Kimi Antonelli, this is a replay. Red flag infringement for Kimi Antonelli. Oh, you're kidding.
Red flag, red flag.
Man, I was too late. I couldn't come in.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine, that's no problem.
So there's a delay. He made...
I'd actually compare Baku to Vegas. Big long straights along with another solidly long straight. Lots of low speed and mid speed corners. Similar track conditions in terms of temperature. I mean, no, actually... Yeah, to be honest, in terms of track condition, like, you don't... Vegas and Baku, they're very much a street circuit. Baku and Vegas, very, very similar in terms of their track condition. Like, Baku, it's very hard for this circuit to get the best out of this circuit when you compare it to a circuit like Bahrain, when you get events running most weekends, or for example a circuit like, you know, you've got plenty of other circuits as well.
He's been closer to George Russell and he's been quick right from the off.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and he's had Q1 was a bit edgy as the sun seems to have come out now, so the Williams rain dance hasn't worked, I don't think. But yeah, similar to you know, just looking at Lando, I think it was last year, a similar thing, wasn't it? When the red flag came out, he was close to pit entry. So we'll see. You know, the stewards have lots more cameras and information, and I'm sure they'll have a good look at that. But yeah, no, you're right. Antonelli, Q1 was a bit stressful. He got through it, and he's looked okay. He's looked there or thereabouts in terms of pace.
But also, I suppose that's what you get when you've got a rookie in the car with quite limited experience. You get these ups and downs. It's not as smooth sailing as it is on the other side of the garage when you've got somebody of the experience now of George Russell.
Yeah, I know, but I think the trouble is the rookie tag. You know, the level of the rookies are coming in at. You look at Hadjar, you look at